Hello, everybody. Welcome to Spiritual Psychic. I'm Sara Wiseman. So today we're unpacking another little piece of channeling. We're going to be doing this on this podcast throughout the year. And this is channeling that I've been receiving. It's the most recent, and it has some new ideas that haven't come forward, at least haven't come forward through the channeling that I've been doing. So I'm kind of excited to share it with you. All right, so here it is. Again, these are very short. We're just going to take the little piece of the little nugget and kind of explore it a little bit. So here we go. So this idea is diversity of viewpoint is so important in this new world. You each have a piece of the equation. You each have a piece of the puzzle. And this reminds me of kind of, there used to be these old fairy tales of a person who had to accomplish a task. It was often like the poor beggar boy, and he wanted to marry the king's daughter, in this patriarchal fairy tale. But this person had some gifts of connection with nature. And so the king or the emperor would say, go find me the magical ring that is across 7 deserts and across 7 seas. And the ring is on a mountain of rice. And if you find the ring and bring it back to me, you'll win the hand. Again, patriarchy. But just so we're just looking at this idea that he's got to go and do this impossible task. And so what happens is all the other people the other princes try, and they send their armies, and they can't do it. They try to do it this really linear way. And this poor beggar boy in the fairy tale calls upon the winds of the air, and calls upon the waves of the ocean, and then goes to the mountain and calls upon the ants of the earth, for example, and the ants immediately go and work together and immediately find the ring, because it's no big deal if you're an ant. That's what you're doing all day. So this person, instead of taking this linear approach, like here's the problem, we will solve it, they just go and expand, and they get all the viewpoints. They get the viewpoint of the air that allows them to fly to the sea. They get the viewpoint of the waves that allows them to take them to the sea. They get the viewpoint of the small insect beings that most people in this fairy tale considered not conscious. They considered none of those conscious, the air, the earth, the ants. And in asking for help from the universe at large, not just the linear way, I will send my armies to do this, or I will send my best advisors, but by opening up to the universe, this question was solved. And so this idea that diversity of viewpoint is not just us talking to others, and most certainly it's not just us talking to people like us with similar backgrounds, similar belief systems. It's about really opening up and speaking with, exchanging views, having this sense of curiosity we talked about last time, where you're exchanging views with people who have differing viewpoints. How did they get to this viewpoint? You might still find their viewpoint is incorrect, doesn't resonate with you, but you have this increased understanding. Well, like, oh yeah, there is another way to do it. There's so many ways to do things. There's so many ways to think about things. A lot of the folks that I work with as students in the student training are very involved in these sort of international hubs where they're in contact with people from all over the world. And that's part of my goal too, is in the training itself, is to get people from all over to come. So we have this diversity of viewpoint, people with different backgrounds, people with who've lived in different places, people who've had different life experience, people who've been exposed to different cultures or different religions or different standards of ways of living. Just all provides this opening of the view, this everyone putting their piece of the puzzle in, so that we're uplifting as a collective soul, as a group, not just pockets of collective that are against each other like tribes, but one collective, one oneness, and we're all adding to, here's what I've discovered, what have you discovered? Here's what I've found, what have you found? I'm Sara Wiseman. You can find me at sarawiseman.com for courses and books and other stuff, and I'll be back next time.